we get too big for ourselves.
Y'all already know what it is. Your boy Yaakov, what it do? The Outlet to Reality, the holdest podcast in Vegas and Chicago. What up? This is the place where you want to hide from your drama or maybe hide from your baby mama. Just kidding. Y si tú quieres cambiar tu vida, if you want to change your life, then subscribe. Ching! And by the way, guys, I just published a book out on Amazon. It's called Shabbat in Chicago. It's about an audacious single mom who opens her heart and home to 5 adopted kids while embracing her Latino culture while being Jewish. And today we have a very special guest. I had to bring him into the show. He is, I consider, a brother. Get up for the one and only Chaz. Woo!
Hey, what's up? Thanks for having me.
Of course, brother. It's an honor, man. You don't understand. Like I had to call your secretary, your event planner, and she put me on hold, and she said, "Please hold," and then I was able to get transferred. You know what I'm saying?
I wish I could use a secretary right now.
Right. So look, brother, I want to share so the fans know how we met. So basically, by Durango and the 215, there's this nice spot called General Mission, and I saw it on the app where they're having a dating event for singles. And your boy, I'm not gonna lie, I was single, so I was so excited. I go to this thing and I meet Cassie, which I knew for a while. I haven't seen her for like 3 years, which was wild to see her again. But the fact that I met you, Chaz, like your energy was amazing. You were able to move the crowd with your comedic jokes. I mean, I thought you were amazing. And the fact that everybody knew you, I was like, yo, this guy's popular. I don't know what he's been doing, but he got good energy, and it was really fun. I met a lot of people, exchanged numbers, and it was like a beautiful event. And that's actually at my favorite spot. That's where I go to watch the football games on Sundays, and where I take a girl for a first date. That's where I usually go. But
It's a plug. It is.
thank you. And what about you? What was your first impression when we met? And tell us more about the event, how you got it all together.
Oh man. Well, I just moved back to Vegas. I was in Reno for 7 years. I grew up in Las Vegas, and when I came back, I first was like, "Wow, how am I?" I'm single. I was newly single at the time, and I had tried online dating, and it really wasn't, what I wanted it to be. I kind of wanted to meet like people and have a genuine connection, and it just seemed like fake. I didn't really like the conversations, or when I'd meet with someone, it wouldn't be kind of the same thing. And I ran a disc golf putting league in Reno, and it blew up. It was a lot of fun, and I try when I do an event to not make it about me or about the event, but about the people who are going to it. And that's the key. Is like right now, there's so much going on in life, and a lot of people don't feel seen and they don't feel validated. They don't feel like they have buy-in to what's going in. And when I first did the event, my friend was like, "Hey, why don't you go to like a singles event?" And I was like looking through singles events, and I was, no disrespect the ones out there, just the ones I saw weren't what I wanted. And if you don't see something you like, go create it. And I was like, I'll give it 12 hours of thought. If something comes from it, I'll go talk and network and see what's going on with some venues. And the GM of the place where we met, they hit me up and they're like, "Hey, we're interested in the event. You want to come sit down and see where things go?" And it kind of just took off from there. Cassandra, I met in dance class. I like to stay involved in the community and like expressive, creative sort of outlets. And so I do country swing dancing. And Cassandra has literally been like one of my best friends. She's the most beautiful personality, and she runs like a lot of marketing and social media stuff. And she's like, "Let me help you with this." And we kind of just got together, created that. And I didn't think anyone was going to show up. And it turned out to be a success. I think a lot of people who came had fun. I got to talking to you, and I was like, this guy is so genuine. And that's the beautiful part of kind of what draws me into people like you is like someone with drive, and they're doing things, and they're not taking no for an answer in the wrong ways, but they're seeing how they can get their vision to a yes. And I admire that about you, and I thought it was beautiful. And so we were talking, and then you messaged me and you're like, yo, what's going on? I'm doing this and I got that going on. I'm like, I love it, bro. How can I support you? I like to see the beauty in the people that are around me. And like your drive was kind of inspiring. And so after we talked at the event and then I got to go watch some of your podcasts, I was like, hell yeah, I'll be a guest. Thank you.
Wow, that means a lot, man. You understand? Like I got the chills, man. I like that. It really, you got a lot of kind words, and same for you, brother. I'm proud of you, and you're doing big things. And I think, like you're right. A lot of the young people they're afraid, since COVID, because we're just so used to being locked at home that we're afraid to take a risk, go outside, meet people, because we're afraid to get rejected. And I think that rejection is a big fear for many of us, because you feel like, dang, is there something wrong with me? And I came up with this saying from my mentor. She actually shared it with me. She always said, rejection is God's protection. So if that
Ooh,
girl, you like that, right? If that girl
fire.
don't work with you, like let's say she's giving you attitude the first day, or she just comes off like really rude and you feel her aura is not good, that's a blessing, because you were gonna have a headache when you got home. You know what I'm saying? If you
Yeah,
ended up being with her, might get divorced down the road. I feel like what you're doing is a great movement, and it's very positive, and we need more of that. So I'm proud of you, brother.
thanks. One thing I love what you're talking about. Not everyone's always at the right point, for dating. And, I haven't always been the best catch in my life either. Like there's people that I've rubbed wrong or like that I've been embarrassing about. A small story on that. The worst date I've ever been on was because of me. Uh, Back in the day, I went on a date with this girl, Tara, I really liked. And I used to have this disease where like my throat would close and like food would get stuck there and I would choke. And I hadn't done enough self work on me and my ego. And we're talking, and I was really into this girl and charismatic. And my food came out, took a bite, and I was like, oh man, I'm choking. I got to rush to the bathroom, because if I force myself to throw up, I'm good. We were at Cheesecake Factory in Kona or Boca Park, and I go to walk, and the bathroom's on the opposite side of the restaurant. I'm like, I'm not gonna make it. I'm not gonna make it. And so I go out the front door, and I'm like, I'm just gonna die. I don't want everyone to see me die, so I'll just go, cut out the front door. And I like start to lose consciousness, take a knee, and then this dude runs out and gives me the Heimlich maneuver and saves my life. And I was like, she didn't see it. I run in, I go wash my hands. I come back out. She's like, oh my God, are you okay? And I was like, what are you talking about? And I gaslit this girl because I was so embarrassed with me because I hadn't done the work to be comfortable with where I'm at or what's going on. And, I don't fault anyone that I've ever been on a date with that I'm like, oh, that person's not for me or they're trash or any of that. Like, we're just at different points in our lives. And that's like
Dang.
that's the whole beauty of the self progress, bro. Like I hope you're working on it and I see it and I see you grind it, but like we can't fault people, especially in the dating pool of like, oh, that they were garbage or I went on this bad date and they're like, bro, they're just not at the point you're at.
Yeah. Wow. That's a wild story, brother. I'm gonna be honest. Like I thought she was gonna do something crazy, you know. So like,
Dude, I choked it up.
right, right, right. You did the 8 mile. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But but it's good, man. I feel like every day, even with relationship, it brings a different kind of love. That's something I learned. It's not always the same. It's different. You learn different experiences, and that's the beauty. One thing I want to share, right? A little. I want to pivot for a little bit, But I was giving a class, and something that you're gonna love, right? So, for those who don't know, there's this thing called basically people. I don't know if they read the part, but there's a part where Noah gets drunk. He's the first man we actually encounter in the Bible that he gets drunk after he lands from the boat. He makes a wine, right? He's turned up, right?
Back out of blackout.
Yeah, and he forgot what happened, and his kids basically, one of his kids cover him up. But the crazy thing, there's like a story, what they call it a midrash story or a parable, where it talks about how Noah came up with the wine. It's a beautiful concept. It said that Noah interacted with Satan, and he's like, "Hey, let's make a pact together." And he's like, "All right, cool." He said, "Look, we're gonna make some amazing wine." Noah doesn't know what wine is at this point. He's like, "All right, you got the vineyard, you got the wine. Let's make it." So they got some grapes, right? But the thing is, they while they were making this cool invention, right? They grabbed a lamb, and then they grabbed a lion, a monkey, and a pig. And so the message of the story, this is so dope. After they made this beautiful invention and he got drunk, right? The moral lesson is if you drink one cup of liquor, any liquor, you feel calm like a lamb. If you drink two cups, you feel like a lion. All the ego goes up to your head and you feel like no one can touch you, no one can beat you up because you're too powerful. When you drink three cups, you feel like a monkey. You want to dance with every girl you see, or want to show off your
Yeah.
moves. The last cup, you act like a pig. You throw up and you make a mess, just like a pig is messy. And it's a beautiful concept because when I shared this, right, a lot of people were like, "Whoa, I've never seen it like that." It's a very deep, ideology, and it's crazy because, don't get me wrong, when you drink, you feel buzz, you feel good, that feeling of feeling good. But the problem is when you go and use it to like cover up your either your emotions inside, your problems in life, whether it be with
Mm.
marriage or anything,
Mm.
it could take over you, right? It can,
100%.
and I'm gonna be honest, I haven't drank. I'm about to hit 8 weeks by this Sunday coming up.
Proud of you.
Thank you, brother. And it's a big deal because, a lot of people don't know what beer. I love beer. I'm not gonna lie. It's so good with lime and outside because what I learned that from a doctor, it has a lot of calories, a lot of carbs and sodium. So with people with blood pressure, high blood pressure, diabetes, these are factors you have to look out for. And you got to be careful. Also can affect you with your memory. If too much of
Yeah.
it, it could really affect it. So that's something I wanted to share, brother. What about you, man? Anything
I
you want to
love
share?
that. So it's so great you brought that up. It's interesting because you talk about it being so good, and for a lot of people in America today, alcohol is the solution, and I don't condemn that for that. Alcohol was my solution for a really long time, and the way I processed life or trauma or anything that I had been through that I never really wanted to process. And one thing I'll say is like alcohol works. It does until it doesn't. And sometimes we always don't get the monkey stage or the lamb or the lion, and sometimes life can take you straight to the pig. Um, Alcohol affects everyone differently, but I know, for me, alcohol, I have an allergy to it, and when I have a drink, I can't just have one. So I had to cut it out of my life. And 4 years, January 11th, 2021, I had to come to terms with like, hey, alcohol's cool and all, but it's just not cool for me. And everyone's bottom is different. And like, whatever gets someone to quit drinking, I have no qualms with drinking. I got a bunch of friends that are all, muggles, I like to call them, that can drink normally. I love that for them. But, like I could never leave a place unless my drink was done, and I see people, and I've dated girls who are like, will order a glass of wine and won't even finish it, you know, and I love that. That's just my character defect, is like, that's not something I could do. And I used alcohol to process everything. I used it to drink to celebrate. I used it to process a death in the family. I used it to get over a breakup, get through school. Like, I just didn't have the tools that I had learned in life to do it on my own. And some people say like, you need a higher power, something that's bigger than you in your life. And I do genuinely believe, no matter what you think your higher power is, the more we consume mind altering substances, the more you dampen that light between you and your higher power. And I think if you really want to see something beautiful in life, get to know yourself. Let's try something. Let's try something crazy. I want you to think. Michael Singer. This is from his book, Untethered Mind. I want you to think, shut up, right? Think it. I want you to yell, shut up now.
Shut up.
Yeah, like yell it in your mind.
Oh, my bad, brother. I did.
Okay,
I thought
okay.
you wanted me to
No, no,
test
no.
my voice to see if I can.
No, your voice is beautiful.
Okay, thank you, brother.
So who in your mind heard that? Who heard you yell, shut up?
Myself.
Who said shut up?
Ooh, ooh. Man, that's good. I mean, honestly, it could be my alter ego, right? My other self. That's my prediction, right? I don't know it.
Yeah.
Um,
So the interesting part is it's our brain that's saying the stuff. It's our inner self. Some people call it like your chi, your zen, uh, your spirit. That's the person listening. That's the true form of us who hears that. And all the things when you're going down the road and you see and you're like, oh, car, person, those are all distractions that your brain is throwing at you, and your conscious thought. Those are all distractions. And the problem with life is, why a lot of people drink, is we have these ideas that sound so good because they come to us in our voice in our own head. But if you can learn to live with life as like a stream, and each one of those is a rock, right? Once we start clearing out the rocks and you have a smooth stream, like, we're good. And you have to really understand who you are. And when a thought is just coming from your mind, like, nothing, unless we act on it, is a true action. And really, like, our higher power is in action, bro. It says, when we're into action, we're plugged into the stream of life with our higher power, and we really get to be a part of it. And that's why, like, I encourage so many people, like, get out and be a part of life. Go have conversations with your neighbor. Like, social media is such a great tool and so beautiful as a concept, but it's so poorly executed. Because really, we just get so distracted and we lose ourselves, and we see things that we want, but it's just our brain telling us, bro, and our own voice, that that's better, or someone looks better, or I should be doing this, or voting this way. Like, right is right, and right's always going to be right. A man of faith will always have courage when he practices in the face of fear. He doesn't rest on his laurels. He stays with his faith.
wow. That's deep, brother. I like that. I like that. You got me really thinking. I want to share something, right? Something you said.
Please.
You made me think of a story. You're gonna love this story. It's one
I
of my
love
favorite
stories.
books. One of my favorite books growing up. It's called The Master of Love by Don Miguel Ruiz. I highly recommend it. I don't know if you read that book, but one of the chapters is called The Man Who Doesn't Believe Love Exists. Beautiful story. And this guy, he grows up believing that love doesn't exist, and he keeps telling all his friends, "Yo, this is all fake." He said love is like a drug. You crave it, and you want more, but it's nothing but an illusion. And his friends are like, "Yo, you crazy." You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? But that's what you think. And one day, he sees a beautiful woman in the bench, and she's crying. And he goes up to her and says, "Miss, are you okay? What's wrong?" And she's crying. She said, "I'm crying because I don't believe love exists." And he's curious. He's like, "Whoa, this girl thinks like me. Oh, Sam, I gotta know more. I gotta know more." She's like, "Look, I've been married to my husband for so many years, and I stopped loving him. And the reason why I stayed with him because we have kids together, and I don't want my kids to grow up without their parents. You know, both of them.
Yeah.
But now that my kids are all grown up, they left the house. There's no need for me to stay with him. So I we got divorced and I walked away. And that's why I believe love doesn't exist. I was only there because I felt like it was my duty. And so they become friends, this girl and this guy, right? They become very close. A couple years go by and he feels so connected to her. Something in him that he's never felt in his life. He's like, whoa, what's this? He went to tell her. He's like, hey, I gotta tell you something. She's like, yeah, what's going on? I don't know how to explain this, but there's something in me that I don't know what it is, but I think I'm in love with you. I think for the first time I know what love is. And I feel it. And you know what she said? She said, I fell in love with you the first moment I met you by the bench. And I was like, dang. And so the crazy thing is, they get together, they get married. There's a scene in the book in the very end of the chapter. They are looking at the balcony and they see these stars. One star shining real bright. And he grabs the star, pulls it to her, and pulls it to him, but gives it to her as a gift. The crazy thing is when he gives the star to her, she lets go of it and it shatters to pieces. So I have a little quiz for you. What do you think the star represented? And why, well, like it falling down and shattered, what do you think that meant? The message.
Mm. Ooh, I love this. I'm gonna hit that. I'm gonna answer you. Then I have something about that. To me, I don't know. I think it's the ego. I think the star is her ego, right? And once she learned to let go of finding out what love is and being like, oh, whatever, I don't think love is real. And she thought she knew what love was, her mindset evolved. And she became a new, we're always growing. You know, when you're a little kid and you probably had applesauce for the first time, you're like, I love this shit. It's the best, right? But that wasn't the best thing you ever had.
Right.
And your love grows. And once she got to a point where she was like so confident and knew what love was and let go of the star, and maybe she was doing character growth on her own, I think her ego broke because we get so confident sometimes that our we get too big for ourselves.
That's deep.
And
That's deep.
I think that was her ego breaking. But I love that you talked about that girl staying for love. I really think that's the problem these days. Um, Talk to anyone who's single in Las Vegas, and I'm pretty sure they're going to tell you dating in Vegas is so toxic. Like, dude, I've heard it everywhere, the workplace, home, out, dancing, whatever. Like people are like, oh, it's so toxic, and everyone's got their own beige flags and red flags and everything. But like, it's only toxic because so many people stay complacent in these terrible relationships and don't want to grow as a character and get out of it. Like two things you're in life, you're either going to get comfort or you're going to get character, but you can never get both at once.
Ooh.
And so, like, if you're sitting there and your life is going well, I'm super stoked for you. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but like challenge yourself and see what your character can really become.
Wow. Dang, that's oof, yeah.
Anytime you're just coasting, bro, like you're not growing. You're not. Like no one wants to be doing making a side business in online school, working a main job, trying to date while staying working out. Like no one wants to do those things. No one wakes up today and be like, I want every minute of my life busy. But it's those people who are trying to drive and find, themselves. Self-love starts with progress. You don't wake up one day and you're like, I love me. That's hard, bro. It's real hard. And I actually thought I was like on this really awesome progress in life with working, with people. And I went to this, it's going to sound crazy, bro, because it sounded crazy when I went. And I was at this like conference and they had this hug workshop. And my buddy's like, bro, it's so dope. It's 2 hours. He was there. I got an hour late. And I came in all confident. And I was like, the whole goal was like, you get to a person, there's an inner circle rotating and an outer circle. And you hold up a one if you don't really want any contact, a two if you want a fist bump, and a three if you want a hug. And there's no talk, there's no form of verbal communication allowed at all, right? This person's talking about like interpersonal discovery, learning about yourself, comforts, and everything. And there's some music playing, and I come in and I'm like joking, and this lady's like, "Hey, can you like take it serious and be quiet?" And I was like, "Oh, my bad, my bad, my bad." And it was hard to maintain eye contact, right? Like I'm like, well, this is weird. With people, you're staring at them, and people come up, guys, girls. I'll never forget this, bro. I started taking it a little bit more serious, and this dude comes up, and he's like looking at me, his jaws clenched. He had like a jersey on, a nose ring, and he was like, a more dudely dude. And we both put up threes. I gave Everett a three. That's nothing to do with a little bit of ego, but like I'm hugging everybody. And I held this dude, and he started to cry. And I was like shook, and I was like, okay, that's weird. And I was like, that felt weird for me. Another guy comes up. We're looking at each other, and you like hold eye contact for like 10 seconds, then you hug. I hugged this other dude, and he started to cry. And I was like, okay. Next guy comes up. Before we even hug, bro, this dude has a tear run out his face. And I'm literally like, in my head, I was like, maybe I haven't worked on something enough. And like these people can sense it. They're not crying because they're broke. They're taking it from my energy, maybe like I don't know what it is. But after the third guy, I was like, I hugged him. I started crying. I was like, what the hell is this?
Whoa.
I'm not a crier, bro. And then it
Yeah.
went around, and we did it for like 45 minutes. And just like some of these people, I felt like non-verbal communication, bro. And just hug them. That's it. No, you're not allowed to pat, just a hug. And I felt like I got to know myself through hugging other people on like what I was missing in my life. Cause it like triggered all those things of like, what trauma responses do I have? What am I missing in my life? What have I not worked at as Chaz as a character? And it was so beautiful because all those things point you in the right way in life. Too many people are putting their will, and they don't sit back and acknowledge being an observer to life, because life and your higher power is always going to show you what to work on. Life will tap you on the shoulder. Life will tap you on the shoulder, and life's going to knock you out. And that's when you get hit with turmoil. And it's like, because you're not listening. What is there to work on? And like, I saw that. I was like, all right, I got some stuff to work on. And it made me think like, dude, maybe this year I don't even need to go into it. Like looking at everyone else, I just need to look at me. And that's been my biggest focus. I think prayer and meditation morning and night, no matter what you pray to, is important. Praying is asking and meditating is listening. And
Dang.
that's the key. It's not a
Wow.
one-way street.
Oh, oh, brother. I love that. That was, man, that story with the hug, man. I felt like, man, also too, I was thinking with that story how sometimes people, they just, one thing that people look for is that human connection. I honestly believe that that's the biggest thing that people want, or they look for. What if they feel lonely or not being heard? Sometimes they need that comfort, that feel like, yo, it's okay, you got.
Yeah,
One thing I want to share, like the end of the story, right? With I have to bring back the star, right?
please,
The
please. I
chatter.
didn't mean to take away from
I'm
that.
sorry. So the star chatter and the book, you're gonna love this. The book, the reason why she dropped the star, because she wanted to show her man that I'm not perfect. You put me in this big pedestal, like I can never make a mistake, and I had to drop it because I cannot make you fully happy. I can be part of your happiness, but I cannot completely make you happy. The moment you forget who you are, you forget yourself. You lose control. And it's a beautiful way of seeing life. The another thing that he brings up, the author, is that you are the main character of your life. Everyone around you are extras to the movie. If something does
NPCs.
right, right. And if they don't go your way, just change the script. Change your way how you want your day to be because you are the director of your life, of your movie. I know it looks like Zoom about to kick me out, but look, guys, thank you for coming to listen to the podcast. It's your boy Yaakov. What it do? Check me out every Tuesday. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Ching! Y'all know where to find me. I'm on Instagram, YouTube, Spotify, The Outlet to Reality. My Snapchat is Take One Pass It, and my TikTok is at Yaakov28. And brother Chaz, it was an honor to have you. Where can my fans find you?
Chaz Rap on Instagram or Dating on Display.
Hey.